Hi there. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through creating reports that can help you analyze the data as well as organize your insights. So here we have our dashboard, which contains all the different cubes that give you access to the different the databases that you are having access to. So for the first one, for the report that we're creating today, we're going to look at the COVID pulse data, which is one of our main databases right now, um, concerning the COVID pandemic. So looking at Kenya over here, we simply click on the cube that we're going to be creating a report for. And over here in our dimensions, we can see the various questions that are involved in the creating of this database. And this includes questions like how long people think it will be before the country returns to normal. There's questions about how people are staying informed. And you can essentially create a report for each single question to really analyze trends and how changes in mindsets have been observed in the last few months. So, for example, actually, we also have questions like what is your highest level of education, your occupation, your marital status, so that we can actually filter out our data according to demographics of the respondents that we have. So now to create a new report, we could simply create the new report button over here or on the top right corner over here. And then in your rows, you would add in the different questions we saw. So the organization of these fields are essentially like pivot tables on Excel. And in your row field, you will enter the particular question that you'd like to prompt. So say we were trying to analyze grocery shopping trends, we'd enter question 24, which is concerned with how people's shopping habits have changed in the last few months. So adding that in, we can then go on to the next column, which allows us to filter our data divide our data according to the particular trends we're trying to analyze. So for example, you'd like to see changes or changes in trends, you'd do something like period organizing or splitting the data by period, and it could be yearly, quarterly, or even monthly. So we will go for months for this one. So this essentially what it does is that it will split the data according to responses that were received in each particular month that the survey was conducted. For values, you put in count if you want to see how many people responded a certain way to each question. You could also add in options like sums, averages, minimums, and maximums as well. And you can also relate them to other questions. As you will see, there are multiple ways that you can add in a count value for this field. Next, you go on to the charts field where you can essentially choose the type of graph you'd like to create for this report. So say we'd go for a bar graph here. And then once you're all done, all you have to do is click on apply, and there you go. Now over here, there are multiple things happening. First of all, this data here, as you can see, is already organized monthly. So these are the 4 different months we conducted the survey for and what we have data for right now. And essentially, if you hadn't put this in here, you would just see an average or a total response, that the total responses we've had so far. So again, we can go back in there and split the data according to the months so that we can see what responses we got each particular month, and then we can compare those. Now, if you'd like to look for data only in one particular month, you can use the filter option over here, which will allow you to say, put in the month of May, and now you're only looking at data in May. Now, if we add in more questions into our columns, questions especially that's regarding demographics, such as age, and then say your gender. Now we have our data split according to those different categories as well. So you have monthly data for each gender as well as for each age. And then you can essentially filter out the data so that it looks more understandable. You can put in, say, females, and then now you're only looking at data for females. And you can also add in, say, an age category. So now we're only looking at respondents who are women and they're aged 18 to 24. There are also some other things you can do to change the format of this data to make it more comparable, such as, for example, adding this percentage of column option, which essentially what it does is that it shows you what percentage of all the respondents responded to a particular question. So, for example, in the month of March, amongst women who were aged 18 to 24, 10.71% of all of the respondents for that month who were women and in this particular age group said that they preferred to purchase in bulk. But then you'll notice that this percentage increases for this particular question under this particular demographic. Okay, so essentially, once you're done creating a report, all you have to do is click on this click to save option over here and then name your report. So say grocery trends, grocery habits for women aged 18 to 24, and then you click save. When you go back to your main dashboard for this particular data set, you'll be able to see that your reports are now over here. And there you go, you've created a report which can be used to analyze the trends and the data within this particular data set.